Alright guys, and welcome back to Satisfactory. In the last episode, when we ended off, I was just over there making basically our steel farm, our steel factory. And I'd also mentioned making a storage area at the end of the episode. So let me go and show you that real quick. I did this off camera. I did a bunch of stuff off camera, but this is one of the biggest things is I just put all these storage containers over here. So just for our different stuff. This one's miscellaneous. We got rotors, concrete, our steel stuff, all of our iron stuff over here. And it just makes it easier, so it's all in one spot. So I can come over here if I need modular frames, come and grab them out from the modular frames storage container. If I need iron rods, I'll come over here to the iron rod container, and so on and so forth. In other games that I played, like Subnautica, Once Upon a Time, Ark, right, those kinds of survival games, I always had storage containers, but for some reason I never really thought to use it in Satisfactory, just because like the way that the game is set up, it kind of makes you want to make factories, and I never really thought about just manually transporting them into all of these containers. But it should make it a lot easier for when I'm gathering materials to go and make a project. Also back here I just put some stuff for working on phase 2, so I got smart plating being worked on. I just got a container that I put, or two containers rather, that I put the stuff in, and then a assembler back here, and then same thing over here. This one's making versatile frameworks, and I've actually got this one overclocked. Nope, I do not have this one overclocked. I thought I did. This one's overclocked, so it's making 4 per minute, because 2 per minute is just not going to cut it. We need 500 smart plate. I don't want to wait that long. So yeah, that's what I did over here. I also moved the hub over, which I think is a good thing, because eventually, I'm going to have the roads around, and I'm going to have the roads lead directly over here, so I think this is a better spot for it than down there in the long run. For right now, it'll be a little bit annoying, coming from down there up here, and yada yada, so on and so forth, but also moved the MAM and equipment workshop over here. But that's enough of over here next to the hub. Let's go and take a look at what I did with the steel factory over there, which you can see just glooming in the distance. I'm gonna be honest, it looks kind of ugly from this angle with the pillars right there. It was an odd, very weird foundation layout that I had, so I couldn't really make the pillars in the way I wanted to. Plus I had these wires up here, which would have been a pain to kind of reroute. Probably not actually, but in any case, over here we've got one of the towers. As you can see, it's not quite complete, but this design took inspiration from what Darren plays in his series. He has a very similar design. I might have just copied it outright actually, but we've got the windows so you can see out into the great map that this is. And we've also got a like a kind of tube going through here, through the bottom or through the middle, and eventually when we get hyper tubes, I'll put them in there. But inside the actual factory, I put some extra stuff down. So we've got some catwalks so we can walk along, some windows down there you saw. Everything else, this is the same factory, I just painted it all. And of course added the windows and the catwalk, so I think it looks a lot better. This is kind of my first time making a factory of this kind of design. I've always just kind of put blocks down and then made it as I go, so I think I'm kind of proud of how this turned out. Now the upstairs area is kind of a mess, as you can see, and there's not really going to be much over here aside from just the encased industrial beams, which, as you can see, are actually being made right now. Now unfortunately we don't quite have enough material to operate at 100% efficiency. So as you can see, a lot of these machines are operating at less than ideal efficiency, and as a result the steel downstairs is also operating at less than peak efficiency. So once we get better miners, I was kind of waiting till we got more encased industrial beams so I can start making miner Mark IIs, which you can see we've got a lot of now. But once we can do that, which we can now, I'll probably do that at a later date, then we'll go ahead and fix that all up. Also, I kind of like how this is done through the floor and then the glass. Unfortunately, this is just a huge open area, but I think it still looks pretty cool. So that's basically what I did. I did all this off camera. Just made the factory look a little nicer. By the way, that color of red is based off of Aedes Boreas Grey Rat from Mushoku Tensei, my all-time favorite series. The plan for today, as you can see on the right, we've got Sulfur, Iron Factory, and starting Phase 2 stuff, which we've pretty much already done. It's just the, whatever that, the thing on the top right is, the one that we need 100 of. But the biggest thing is going to be the Iron Factory. And I also wanted to get Sulfur because eventually I'd like to get guns. I've never had guns in this game, so I kind of want to see how they work out. Also explosives. So since that one's a little bit quicker and easier, we'll go and start to do that. I believe there's a sulfur vein just up the mountain over there. Yep, just up here there's a normal purity sulfur node, so we can utilize that. Probably just put down a biomass burner for now. Have that kind of running in the background, so we'll grab some solid biofuel, probably not even that much. We'll just grab 48 and see how that goes. You put the rest of the stuff away, and then I'll kind of show you what I'm thinking. Alright, so while we're here, I wanted to get this out of the way as well. So this is going to be our main iron factory, so to speak. And the reason being because there's 3 veins of iron right here that I can utilize for basically everything we'll need that only uses iron, that being iron plates, iron rods, screws, reinforced iron plates, and modular frames. And so I'm going to move all of that into one big factory, and so we'll have that right here, and we'll just name it the Iron Factory. Alright, making it a nice silver, because iron. And so yeah, Iron Factory is going to be right here. We'll move the sulfur stuff up here, or not really move, but go and start working on that. And after we do the sulfur stuff, I will kind of walk you through what I'm thinking of for the design of the Iron Factory. Again, for this world, I'm kind of trying to go for bigger factories in general. And by the way, in this area, there's a bunch of iron nodes over here. Most of them are impure from what I understand. And then we got those 2 over there as well. So a bunch of iron nodes. Yep, impure. Pretty sure all these are impure. There's also a copper node over there, and there's a limestone node right there. So what that means is for motors and I think it was reinforced modular frames that I was looking at. But for those 2, I can put that factory right down here. And in fact, on my buddy's world, I put the motor factory right there, and it worked out pretty good. So I'm thinking we'll put that there in the future. We'll not worry about that in this episode. We'll just worry about the Iron Factory. But maybe next episode or the episode after, we'll look into putting the that factory over there. So we've got sulfur somewhere around here. I think it's going to be up there. We will just bridge up to that. Alright, so here we are, the sulfur. I'll go ahead and grab a crafting bench. Actually, it's going to be an equipment crafting bench. Equipment workshop. We'll make a portable miner. Put down a miner mark 1. And for now, I'll just chill here for a few minutes. We'll collect some sulfur. And once I have enough, I'll just start upgrading stuff in the MAM, and then we'll be back, and I'll let you guys know what we'll do from there. Alright, so I've just been letting this run for a few minutes. So we'll grab the sulfur. I also want to grab some coal, because we needed coal for this next upgrade, or this next path. So there we go. Black powder is now available for research. Unfortunately, we can't get smokeless powder yet, because we'll need some plastic, which we'll get eventually, but for right now we can't get the Nobelisk detonator. We could go ahead and start working on, so we'll just wrap this over and put a constructor behind this storage container, and then have it wrapping back around right here. Alright, so I didn't foresee this, but I guess we'll need coal as well as sulfur for black powder, so that's unfortunate. We can kind of just have this running in the background though, and bring the sulfur over to our base whenever we kind of feel like it. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of look at sulfur and, you know, kind of as a preliminary, just put something down, you know, because we haven't touched sulfur at all so far. So now we can say we have. So I'll go put the sulfur up, and then I'll show you guys what I'm thinking as far as the iron factory is concerned. Alright, so as I said, I kind of want to incorporate all of the different aspects that we have into one bigger factory. So right now we've just got the iron plates, iron rods and screws kind of over here on the ground randomly. And then behind that we've got the reinforced iron plate factory, which is a little bit better, right? It looks a little nicer because it's got the foundations. And then over there we've got the reinforced iron plate factory. Now, the modular frame factory. Now, as I said, over here in the future is going to be the motor / probably heavy modular frame factory. And so, we'll want to use all of the resources over there. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that modular frame factory before we start building this one, or after we start building this one, whatever. Again, that's just kind of to put it all into one big place, and then also open up that area for future renovations, so to speak. And over here we've got these 3 veins, which is, as long as we put down 3 minor Mark IIs, we'll be fine. 3 minor Mark IIs will have enough for what we need. So with that all being said, I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead, and when we'll come back whenever I basically just get rid of everything here and lay us out a foundation for the new factory. Alright, so here we are with the layout all done. It is 18 by 17. I'll see if I can't put a picture on the screen right now of what I kind of had drawn out earlier, just as like a preliminary, but that's 18 by 16. So these first 3 rows are going to have the smelters, the input row, the smelters themselves, the output row, and then over here we're going to have a section with mini constructors, okay? I think it calls for like over 25 constructors or so. So we're going to group them up. The first group over here is going to be for the iron plates. And then the second group over here is going to be the iron rods. And then the third group over here, some of those iron rods are going to come over here for screws. Okay. And then we'll have some industrial storage containers somewhere, probably over there. It looks like there's going to be a big empty area over that way, towards the right of the building. But you can also see that we've got 3 different towers hooked up. So we'll have one over here to the right, one up there just on top, and then one over there to the left. And so that's just making it easier to access, because over here we've got the cliff. So basically on all 4 sides we can access this the staircase, which will bring us up to the actual main floor of the factory. And then after we got all that done, we'll go and make the second floor. Second floor is going to be the same size, but realistically it doesn't even need to be that big, because we just need like 6 assemblers or something. And so we'll just route everything into those 6, and then we'll have the rest as empty space for now. And then in the future, if we ever find a need for it, we can expand. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at for the layout. As far as what it's actually going to take, it's going to take 345 iron ore a minute, which of course we have. 3 Mark IIs in these normal nodes will give us 360 total, which will be just fine. We're going to be making 40 iron plates a minute, 30 iron rods a minute, 60 screws a minute, 10 reinforced iron plates a minute, and 5 modular frames a minute. So essentially it'll replace every single factory that we had so far for those 5 things, and at a better rate at that. The only thing I'm concerned about is the power usage. It uses over 200 megawatts. And let me just check real quick how much we've got free. We might be okay. If anything, we're going to be just beyond the production for our max consumption, but it shouldn't be that big of an issue, truth be told, because we'll get rid of the reinforced the modular frame factory over there, and that'll free up a bunch of power for us. And if I need to, I can go over there and add some more coal power plants, but that is kind of where we're sitting for now. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started just putting down everything, and then we'll come back whenever I'm basically done. Alright, and I think we are pretty much done here. So to kind of run you through what I did, down here we've got the miners. These are all miner Mark IIs, so they're making 120 iron ore per minute. That's what they're digging up. I've got this one going over here, and I'll show you why in a second. These are all Mark II belts. And then these two merging into one Mark III belt going up here. In contrast to the steel factory, I actually managed to fit the miners in here on the floor below, and that's kind of why I had mentioned last episode making it kind of even with the cliff, and that was to give it enough headroom to use the miners. And we actually have enough room to maybe in the future put like a train station underneath here or something. Who knows? Moving up here to the first floor, we've got our industrial storage containers. We got 5 over here. Come over here real quick to the smelters. So this is the one from earlier, the 120. It's going in here and splitting off into 4 different smelters, all making iron ingots at the normal ratio, the 100%. And over here we got the other 2 that split off into a Mark III belt, and that's splitting off into, I think it's 6 smelters, and one of which is making only 15 per minute, which would be this one at the end, 15 per minute. And the reason we need the 15 per minute is because we can split off 7.5 going that way and 7.5 going this way. So we've got all of these 4 over here merging into one, and then adding the 7.5, so that's 100 and what is that, 120 plus the 7.5, so 127.5. And I just realized I forgot to actually hook up the inputs for the iron rods over here, so give me a second. Okay, that should be all of it hooked up now. Let me see if I can color that. Okay, so all of those iron ingots that I was talking about before, the 127 a minute, let's go over here into these, I think it's 8, maybe 9 constructors. Anyways, all these are making iron rods. Down here at the end, we've got 30. So coming off here, we got the 30 going into the storage over there. We got another 30 going upstairs for the assemblers, and then the rest of them are going over here to make screws. Coming over here to the iron plates. So all of the rest of the smelters, all those iron ingots are coming over here, and they are making iron plates. So in total, we've got 105 plus, I think, 40, so 145. 40 is going out to the storage, and then the 105 is going upstairs for the assemblers. Then over here we've got the screws, same kind of story. The one on the end, I actually ended up changing the amount of screws just because it would have been a big headache to split off. What I would have had to do is I would have had to make one of these constructors make screws, but only 30 per minute, and then split off 3 routes, reroute 2 of them into the same merger, and then have that merge with this one, and then the 10 that would be left over go with everyone else. So I was like, I'm fine, I'll just do it like this. So we're only making 40 a minute that we're actually seeing, that we're actually being able to get in the storage over there, but it's not that big of a deal. Screws aren't really that hard to come by. So that's it for the first floor. Going up to the second floor real quick. Here's the assemblers. So over here, this is the output for the reinforced iron plates. This is the input from the screws, so it's going into all of those. And then over here we've got the iron plates coming into all of them. And then these 2 on the end, one of them is underclocked to only make 2.5 per minute. So that plus this 7.5 per minute is going over here into the heavy modular correction, just the modular frames. So 3, and the last one is underclocked to 50%. And that gets us 5 modular frames a minute and 10 reinforced iron plates per minute. And then those are getting routed downstairs into the industrial storage containers right here. So yeah, took me a minute to do, but pretty simple. And yeah, over here I also researched the, what is this called? Like power switch, yeah. So basically what this allows me to do is on the A side over here, I've got the actual power supply, so all the coal power plants is coming to the A side, and then the B side is going to be the actual factory itself. So once I flip this switch, it'll turn on. But as you can see, the B side is consuming 285 megawatts. So that is the factory's consumption, is 285 megawatts. And we're only producing 900, so we don't quite have enough to power it on right now. However, I haven't destroyed the modular frame factory over there yet. So I'm going to go and do that, and then I'll bring you guys back when I'm about to start the factory up. Alright, so I was too lazy to actually go and destroy the whole thing, so I just disconnected it from the power grid. But as you can see, we freed up some consumption, and so we've got a max consumption of 728 right now. If we turn this on, we should be okay for the time being. Plus we've got some biomass generators that can turn on if need be. However, in the long run, we're definitely going to want to go and put some more coal power plants down. But for now, let's go ahead and power this bad boy on. As you can see, now they're connected. Max consumption just shot up to 1013.8 megawatts. So yeah, we're definitely going to need to go and make some more coal power plants at some point. However, now it looks like all the machines are powered on. I can hear the miners downstairs. What I can actually go and do is I can go and upgrade the hub again, using the pod, and go and get a power storage, and that'll help us. So whenever, basically what that does is whenever we are making more power than we're using, it'll store it somewhere, and then whenever that consumption rises above the production, it'll start using that. So, but it looks like this is coming in now, so we'll see it start to work. And half it's going to this smelter. Smelter's working already. And this one's working at, correction, it'd be this one working at half rate. And these ones are also starting to come in. As you can see, a bunch of iron ingots are just flying everywhere. Alright, so far it looks like everything is working as intended for the most part. Of course, we've got to wait for the manifolds to fill up, so some of these are going to be idling for a minute. But let's take a look at our storage containers. We've got some screws coming in, some rods very slowly. Same thing with the iron plates. Let's look at the reinforced. We've got a few, and no modular frames yet. I will go and check that out here in a second, but the reason why it's taking a while for the iron rods and iron plates to start filling up is because the ones that actually go to the storage containers are all the way here on the end. So because of the way the manifold's set up, these two are going to be the very last to start working at peak efficiency. So it'll take a minute, but it will eventually reach its way to max capacity. Let's take a look over here, because these guys are idling right now. Reinforced iron plates isn't enough. It's probably just because the factory is still getting, up to speed. So give it a few minutes, and it should pretty much clear out and then reach max efficiency. But I think we can officially mark Iron Factory off of our to-do list. So yeah, kind of a big-ish project. I left it pretty naked for now. Probably off camera I'll go ahead and put the walls up. I'm going to make it blue for Roxy Magurdia from Mushoku Tensei. Idea was given to me by a friend, so I'm gonna run with it. So yeah, I'll do that off camera. For now, I want to go and look at our power consumption. So we're pretty good for now. Our orange line is of what we're actually consuming. But we do have a max consumption of more than our production, so it might be an issue later on. As far as starting the phase 2 stuff, let's go over here and take a look at what has been going on in the background. Okay, so we've got a bunch of smart plating. That's 100, 200, almost 300 smart plating. This is now idle. So we need to go and put some more, it's like both reinforced iron plates and rotors in here, which we can do in a second. Over here in this one, let's see how much versatile framework we've got. 200. Okay, what do we need for this? We need more modular. Actually, we're good on modular frames for now. We just need more steel beams, huh? Looks like it. So I'll go and do that real quick. Okay, so these two are good now. They will start to Actually, I didn't even put anything in this one. Hold on. Okay, now they're going to start working once again. Wanted to look at the automated wiring and see what this takes. So, okay, so we will need to make stators for this. Other than that, it's a pretty simple recipe. Stators themselves are kind of annoying to make because it requires steel pipes and copper. Let's see. Down there at the steel factory, there might be some extra copper we could use and some extra steel beams. I'll have to go look at that. But for now, I think we'll just let the other two kind of do their things. And then, I mean, worst case scenario, we don't even automate it. We just kind of grab what we need. And that's honestly probably what I'll go ahead and do anyways. But that's for the future. I'm gonna go ahead and mark off start phase 2 stuff. Now, one more thing I wanted to do before I left was I wanted to go and unlock the additional power kind of thing, which I'll go and look at over here. So it's over here in tier 4. It's called the expanded power infrastructure, which we do have all this stuff. So, but what this allows us to do, first off, get power towers, which are a lot more efficient at traveling long distances for power transport. And then the power storage, which I will go and do probably off camera. That just adds some extra, kind of a backup essentially, in the event that we overdraw. But we'll go and grab the rest of the wire and modular frames we need, which, thanks to the storage, are going to be pretty simple to find. So I got the copper wire and the frames over here. Okay, everything in, and we'll press the button. Not too worried about getting something else right now.
Milestone reached. Pioneers can now store excess power for later use and span power lines across vast distances. Stored power is automatically distributed in cases of low power output. You've got the power.
Okay. But honestly, yeah, it looks like the factory is running pretty smoothly. Again, we'll work out the kinks as it goes on. It's kind of hard to spot them right now. But for the most part, it's at least working, and it's not killing our power supply, so that's always a good thing. But I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. Kind of recap, we basically just revised our original iron factory and kind of combined them all into one, so we no longer have the reinforced iron plate factory. We no longer have the rods and the plates just all over the place. We've got them all in one factory, one nice place. So that will be great for the future. We also unlocked Sulfur. I'll probably do some stuff regarding that off camera. It's just kind of a minor thing. But yeah. Hopefully next episode we'll have a bunch of stuff for phase 2. And probably what we'll end up doing is either make a stator factory or a motor factory. And so the motor factory, what we can do is we can make the motor factory and then have stators kind of as a middleman almost, and then have them kind of branch off, and then we'll have extra stators that we can use for whatever we need. But other than that, yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you didn't, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.